on. Give me 1 second, everyone. Let's make sure we. Okay. All right. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Hey, y'all knew it. First of all, I don't like the fact that Gil Gammy called me out. Shout out to the brother Gil Gammy. Gil Gammy was like, I knew Mr. Z was gonna make something on this. Right? Look, y'all knew it. Once they started talking money, y'all knew Mr. Z was coming. Y'all knew it. I can't help it. Look, I am fascinated by people talking money. It's like, So let me get this out. Let me get this out. First, shout out to the brothers Abba and Preach. Shout out to the lady. Why did I just? Her name was just there, right? Her name was just there, and it's like Chloe, Courtney. And I've checked out some of her content before. This is not the first time she interviewed young women. We know that the last video I think I covered of Abba and Preach was her also. And she does I've checked out her channel. I've been checking out her channel for a few months now. So I'm not too, I haven't been there. I'm not one of her day ones, per se. But, yeah, I've checked out her content. No, it's not Courtney Michelle. It's not Courtney Michelle. But yeah, she was interviewing these different women. This time it's an age cohort above which she interviewed before, or that we've seen interviewed before, better yet. We've seen the young ladies that were in college interviewed about this money thing, but now we're seeing their 20s being interviewed. One of the young ladies was just about to turn 24. A few of the young ladies were around 27 or whatnot. I think there might have been one 30-year-old or something like that in that group of women, young women. But okay, so let's get into it. No, Abba, they're not rich kids. They're not the children of the rich. I would argue most of them aren't even the children of upper middle class. So Abba, you are correct. If this is truly America, then there's a sickness there. It is a sickness. I'm telling you that as a South Florida native, as someone that's been up and down the East Coast of America, yeah, they're that delusional. It is a sickness. It is. This is a sickness, right? Like Albert said the last time. It is a sickness, right? It really, and once again, my word of my channel, neoliberal, right? Oh, I did get the voice recorder, you guys. For those of you that were here this morning and remember me saying I'm going to buy a voice recorder, I actually did go get it, right? So I'm reinvesting in Mr. Z's channel to bring y'all better content. So I did get the voice recorder. So now I will be able to record certain segments of whoever's thing that I want to respond to or kind of give my perspective on, and I can play what they said, and then y'all can hear it, and then we will go on from there. But yeah, so what's interesting about this is the young lady that said some 650, and then you find out it's like the median or whatever for her age cohort that she was interested in was 52,000. Look, the young lady, young black woman with the glasses that was like, damn America, like, no, you're delusional. You are delusional. Right? It's that simple, right? And she wasn't the worst one. What you saw, in particular, it's the two brunette white women in particular, right? The 23 about to be 24-year-old that pretty much told y'all she ain't changing her mind until she hit the wall. She straight up said it. When at the end, when Courtney asked her, so after all of this, are you changing your mind? Do you think it is? She's like, pretty much like, no, maybe I'll revise this. Maybe I'll rethink it when I hit 30. So she's telling you straight up, yeah, I'm not changing my mind until I'm forced through the environment and my age and the fact that men may not be looking at me the same to change my mind. So this is not an epiphany. So what will happen is if she doesn't achieve this type of lifestyle with this type of man, when she gets 30, 31, she will act like she had an epiphany. But those of us who saw her 6 years ago, right, or in the future it'll be 6 years ago, will remember that she straight up said, yeah, no, I'm not changing my mind until I'm forced. Essentially what she was saying, I'm not changing my mind until I'm forced to, right? It's important that we say this because what I think needs to be stressed here is this is not one or two random wayward women. This is like a large percentage of your population, and it does have an effect on your nation, right? It does have an effect on your nation. It does have an effect on your birth rate. It does have an effect on your economy. It does have an effect on family formation. All of this delusion has an effect on this, right? The young lady in the pink, the blonde, was she platinum blonde? I can't remember, but the young lady in the pink, white woman who pretty much said like, this is what I'm looking for, and like, but I'm not going to a certain age because I would rather be single. Like, y'all are delusional. So in other words, you would rather be single, right? Yeah, it's that serious. It really is. If this was one or two random women, this was 5% of your population, it would be an issue, but not that serious. And a couple of them would get married up anyway, right? But I would argue this is at least a large minority of your population. Double digits. This is not single digits of your female population in the US. And so of course it's gonna affect your society. Once again, I keep on I want to say this. For my day ones, they know that Mr. Z is gonna probably mention a couple of things, because the reason why I say certain things over and over and over again is because I think these things sum up just about everything all the time, right? What am I gonna say? I'm gonna bring up the Morgan Stanley numbers, right? 45% of your women are gonna be single as hell, like a loose leaf paper, between 2018 and 2030, right? And many of them will not have children. Voila. And now you see why. This delusion hurts. And shout out to all my conservative brethren who think, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. We'll repeal affirmative action. We'll repeal Roe versus Wade, and that'll give these women no choice. You lost them already. You better find something else. I don't know if y'all really want, what y'all gonna do, kick them off, start firing them left and right, laying them off? But short of that, you ain't really do much. The delusion is that great. You should have checked it earlier. You should have checked those elites earlier. All those elites that own these television networks and these movie production houses and whatnot, right? Infecting your young people, particularly your young girls, with delusional ass mindset just so they could sell Barbie products and all type of makeup and everything. And now your young girls and your adolescents are now women, and they're this delusional, and it affects your society because they're not trying to marry your average sons, your average 40, 45, 50, $55,000 sons. Even the white ones. So no, Abba, this is not, this is not, oh, they must come from bougie, upper middle class or rich. No, nope. And he didn't say upper middle class, that's my words. But yeah, no. These are around the way girls. Maybe a couple of them come from upper middle class, but no, this is a predominant mindset in America, and it is a sickness. Yeah, they're that delusional. And I watched the whole thing from Courtney, not just from Abba and Preach. In their review, I watched Courtney's whole thing, and you had the sister with the glasses, of course, being a black woman. And once again, excuse me, y'all know I'm dealing with a cold, so, sorry for the sniffling, but, being a black woman, she told you everything she's looking for, and then she straight up admitted, yeah, but I'm not submitting to anything. Yeah, I know these type of men, they usually want peace and quiet, and they don't want this debate, and I'm paraphrasing, but essentially the sentiment was, I know what they're looking for. I know they would rather not have somebody that's nagging them and that's annoying, and yeah, I'm not that person. So I want this lifestyle. I want this type of man to provide this lifestyle, but I'm not going to give him any of what he wants, which is peace and quiet. She straight up said it. I mean, bro, rest in peace, Kevin. You can't make this ish up. You can't make this ish up, right? Hey, y'all knew I was coming. Once y'all saw the Abba and Preach video, y'all knew, right? Of course. Like I said, if this was one or two random women across the country, regardless of race, that would have been something else. That would have been a different conversation. But you mix second, third plus wave feminism with neoliberalism, this sense of entitlement, consumerism, and materialism, you got a combustible mix. You got a toxic sludge of insanity. And I want to stress that to Abba. I know Abba was like, no, if this is really what it is, America got a sickness. Yes, 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 right? Using your own words, Abba, this is a sickness. It is, right? You know, and one thing I'll push back, because I remember when Abba was beefing with Fresh and Fit, and he pretty much said, y'all down there in Miami, and he was essentially saying that's a bubble of materialism and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but no. Yes, but no. No, these are your average, the women that Abba and Preach are bringing on, excuse me, not Abba and Preach, sorry, Fresh and Fit are bringing on, no, that's a lot of your standard young women. They feel free enough to say it when they're on Fresh and Fit. That, I think, is one of the problems that we have in this society, is we don't want to admit that these are really your daughters. We want to think that this is some one-off. No, these are your nieces and nephews and your daughters, right? And shout out to Oliver the Gray for the super sticker. Thank you very much, sir. Right? These are your daughters. These are real, everyday, around the way American women who are not too much more materialistic than your average American woman. They might be putting on a little bit, being a little bit more blatant on Abba and Preach's show. I keep on saying Abba and Preach, I'm sorry. On Fresh and Fit show, but yeah, no, that's your standard. And remember, oftentimes these women are from around the country, right? They're visiting, they're in Miami for vacation or whatever, hot girl summer, whatever, right? But this is your standard everyday American woman. This is not, by the way, what's good about what Courtney did, this is not exclusive to white or black women or Latinas or anything. These are your everyday American women, right? And yeah, they're that delusional. Delusional enough to say it's either this or nothing, which wouldn't even matter if it wasn't that many women that thought like that. Right? So when Mr. Z says, you know, y'all raised a bunch of bratty daughters, entitled, selfish daughters, this is what I'm saying. It's not as, the problem is we've been lying to ourselves saying, no, it's our sons. Our sons have insane expectations. They're all walking around here looking for a 10 in looks. It's them. It's not. It's not. All right? Far less men are looking for the IG models than there are women looking for this lifestyle, and nobody wants to be honest about that. No one wants to be, and here's the, not just looking for this lifestyle, standing on it like it's either this or nothing, and meaning it. Once again, if that's 5% of your population that say it's either this or nothing, and they stand on it, you could deal with that as a society. Train tracks, right? But when you're competing against China and double-digit % of your female population is saying this and they mean it, yeah, you got a problem, right? When you low-key compete against Europe and they dealing with some crap too, right? The European Union and them and the European Union women and American women are all saying, yeah, I want this lifestyle or nothing. particularly American women, because neoliberalism hit us like a ton of bricks. Yeah, they mean it. They mean it. Now, yes, these women are in their mid-20s. You know, let's see how long this lasts. Yes, granted, all of that. But as of right now, oh yeah, no, they mean it. They mean it. They mean it. And I put this the last link, I put it a little late. It was of Jess Pearly pretty much speaking about Kevin, saying the winter is coming and kind of breaking down, and not just saying it as like a throwaway phase. I mean, excuse me, throwaway phrase to throw in women's faces. No, she actually kind of slowed it down a bit to speak about why this is important and what it means in context of this, you know, current environment post COVID. And yeah, and you know, I was just speaking to someone and I said to them, yeah, you would think that the environment's going to humble these women. And I don't mean humble in this kind of hip-hop-y way that we say it, where we're trying to insult each other, like, I'm gonna humble you. No, no, no. I mean, literally, you would think that the environment is gonna kind of slow them down and make them reevaluate. You know, and this is one of my biggest back and forth sometimes with some of our elders in this space. That remains to be seen. I'll say that. I don't believe it. From what I've seen, no, these people are going to be living at home with their parents until they're 50-something. Right? Or until their parents pass away. This level of delusion, why can't I have this? I'm screaming from the mountaintops that this is what I'm getting, this is what I want, this is what I deserve, and this is what I'm getting, or nothing else. These people aren't going to come off of it. Not, let me say this. Not enough of them are going to come off of it, even if the environment changes. Even if tomorrow they're borderline destitute. Right? They sit it, they're standing on it, and they mean it. Right? And what's good about that is that it's gotten so blatant that our society, don't get it misconstrued, by the way. All the major conglomerates see it, they know it. They see this stuff. Their children are sharing this stuff also, right? If their children were sharing Kevin, you gotta believe their children are sharing this stuff also. They're seeing this. The politicians and their children are seeing this too. They're seeing this because, like I said, if Anna Kasparian from TYT covered similar-ish topics like this a few years ago, yeah, they see these videos. They see them on TikTok. They see them on IG. They definitely see them on YouTube. They see them, right? Oliver the Gray says, and thank you for this super chat, he says, good woman plus good man equal marriage. Bad person plus good man equal indifference. Ain't got nothing for you. At Roger. Right? And this, you know, until this society comes to a real, what's the word I'm looking for? Until they have a real sit down to figure out how they can balance selling merchandise and products and even ideas as products without it turning around and biting them in the rear end 20, 30, 40 years later, because now you've made a certain portion of your population so delusional that now they can't live without that thing, even if they don't have enough or earn enough or will never earn enough. We're going to continue to have this problem. And it's a problem because it affects your population. It affects the productivity of the men. It affects, once again, your childbirth. This affects everything. And once again, this is not one or two random women. For us to now be talking about like deep into the six figures of money, right? Right? So we went from speaking to the college women to now we're speaking to. I just want Courtney to keep on going up in age and see if that delusion ever changes, right? Maybe next, ask the early 30-something-year-olds, maybe 30 to 35, speak to some of them and see if the delusion changes. I'm telling you, as someone in their mid 30s, it doesn't change, right? Once again, like I said before, Abba, yeah, no, this is real. This is real. This is a sickness. Yes. What did people think was going to happen? You told your people. This is where Adam Curtis comes in, right? And I played the clip on one of my lives a little while ago, where you define yourself by the money, and so the things you can buy, and the products you can put on the type of clothes, the type of neighborhood you live in, the type of car you drive. You sold that to people for at least two and some odd generations. The Xers got hit with it. The millennials got hit with it, and now the older Gen Z. So the whole entire generation Z gonna get hit with it, right? For at least two generations. Some of the older boomers got hit with it. I mean, excuse me, not older, younger boomers. You told people they are the products that they consume. The amount of money they make. They will define themselves by these things. And so, especially in the epicenter of this type of ideology, America, you get the most insane concepts of money and wealth. I brought it up before. What did Sweetie say? Sweetie that used to be with Quavo. If your man can't buy you a Birkin, right? She meant what she said, right? You couple all these things together, and then remember, you still have the fumes of patriarchy, provider, protector still there. Hyper-materialism, hyper-consumerism, still the fumes of provider, protector men. Mind you, you still got second wave plus feminism. Like a toxic sludge mix of just insanity, and you're asking your sons to turn one of these women into a wife, right? Turn one of these women into a wife. This level of delusion, you know. And the other young lady, I forgot her name. It was the two brunettes. One of the brunettes looks a little Latina-ish, might have been, right? The look on her face looked like she wanted to cry when the money started, when the answers started getting real, right? It's funny, Abba and Preach picked it up the second I heard it too. When Homegirl was like, I would like a Pagani. I said, Pagani? Oh my God. My reaction was the same as Preach's reaction. Pagani? Pagani? Look, like Preach said, it was her dream car. You know, and your dream car doesn't have any limits. You know, okay, cool. Pagani? Yo. Y'all know how rare a Pagani is? How bespoke and one-off all the parts are for Pagani? Y'all realize Pagani is an Italian company. They made it to compete against the Raris and the Lambos. Rare cars. The Zonda, the Wyra, rare cars. Often powered by Benz AMG engines. 600, I think the first Pagani was the Zonda that came with like 550 horsepower. That was like back in the early aughts. Now they're seven something, 800 something, some stupid number, right? And Gilgami, you beat me to it. Shout out to the brother Gilgami. He said, and she settled on a Ferrari F12. Not even no everyday for. There's first of all, the everyday Ferrari would probably be more like the not the Pista. It's it's the hardtop convertible right now that they have. I can't remember the name of it, but that would be more like the more accessible, air quotes, accessible Ferrari, or the Ferrari SUV that's supposed to be debuting next year, right? She said F12. Look, bro, the F12 right now, I think it was like a 700 and some odd, 800 horse. Yeah, is it the super fast? It's like 800 horsepower, something like that, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was four. It was what 370 something. Okay, $400,000 Ferrari, right? $400,000 Ferrari. So these people are speaking like this, right? And you want your everyday sons to turn these people into wives. And like Abba said, when you hear let's say 10%, 15% of men earn this much. First, that tends to be older men. When you start getting higher up, 80 plus $1,000 a year, not even. And what I liked, actually, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. What I liked what Courtney was doing was also saying, the median that men ever hit for the most part is about 65,000, right? Only about only about a quarter, was like 23 and some odd percent of men ever earn more than $100,000 in their life. Ever hit it at least once in their life, right? That's something else that needs to be said. Just because someone hits $100,000 once doesn't mean that's a consistent thing, right? So what was interesting, and she said only about 23% of men ever hit this, like, once in their life. And the median income, the highest men's median income ever gets is about 65,000. We have to be more honest with these conversations when it comes to people. This is, for me, this is what I would advocate. I don't want to crush the hopes and dreams and aspirations of young people, right? So a bit of delusion is necessary. You want these people to come out of high school swinging. You want them to come out of college swinging. But by the time you're 25, I think every 25-year-old needs to go sit in a classroom and have the book thrown in their face about what the reality of everything is, what the reality cost of everything is. We need to have like at least, it's almost mandatory, like jury duty. That by the time you turn 25, somewhere in the month of your birthday, you got to go sit down in the realistic class. And in the realistic class, we start telling you what the house prices cost. We start telling you what the car prices cost. We start telling you the median income for men, women, different age cohorts, blah, blah. Just, the class is only going to last about 2 hours. You don't ever got to worry about it again in your life. Right? Why does this matter, Mr. Z? Because the delusion affects your society. We're watching it right now with not even the younger Xers, with the Xers. Those celebrity Xers that's all single, all those women that's single right now, they're not unique. They represent their generation. The white and black ones, they're not unique. The ones that y'all watch pass over all those celebrity men they could have been with in their 20s and their 30s, even their early 40s, they're not unique. You're watching it happen with them. You're watching it happen with some of the oldest of millennials. And then you're watching the ripple of that and how it affects your society. Because if it was just these people and their individual, right, delusions, that wouldn't matter. In a vacuum, it wouldn't matter, right? That's the important part to understand here. These people delusions affect your society. That's why I put what I put in the title. This is the delusion that breaks societies, right? What random men or women think that's delusional, that doesn't break your society. One or two, three random percent of people that's delusional running around your society acting amok. It hurts the people that they're in contact with. But when you can go just about, especially in the major cities, right, around the country, and you're hearing this over and over again, no, that affects your society, right? And Namer says, Mr. Z is called delusions of grandeur. Yes, right? When you're going from Miami to LA to New York to Seattle to Dallas to Atlanta, Chicago, right? Boston, you just keep on hearing this over and over again wherever you go, right? And your women are the ones that's telling you, yeah, it's this or nothing, right? And they just keep on overshooting. It. What I liked about what Courtney did also is that to ask, so what do you think the median income for men is? And you see all of them overshooting. I think one of them got it kind of right, right? But you just keep on seeing them overshoot it. Because they're telling you, I'm not settling for that. It's, I want this lifestyle. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. I, 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 I need this lifestyle, right? Big Kev. What's going on, Big Kev? Big Kev says people can only make money if there is wide diversity of career paths. Everyone can't make money doing the exact same thing, right? What what happens when you flood STEM? What happens when you flood nursing, right? We're all telling our kids to get a STEM degree right now, or a degree in STEM somewhere, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, somewhere, right? Meanwhile, Facebook is laying off what? 11,000 people? Something stupid? Is it laying off or firing? Elon Musk walked into Twitter with a week later just taking heads off. You're fired, you're fired, you're let go, you're let go. Right? Although these people have a degree in STEM, they're gonna bounce back. They're gonna be okay. Will they make as much money as they were at Facebook? Maybe not, but they're gonna be okay. And that's the beauty of having a degree in one of those particular fields. You're gonna be okay, right? But what you have is all of these young women, couple of black women, bunch of white women, maybe one of them was Latina or whatever. Delusional as all get out, right? Shout out to the brother, the Roger Report. Roger said, laid off is a fancy term for fired. You see what I'm saying? We might bring you back. So you're laid off, maybe kind of sort of. It's not fired. I mean, it may not be permanent. It possibly might not be permanent. So we won't call it fired, right? This is insane, everyone. This isn't, like I said, this is the type of delusion that breaks your society. And I blame all of this not even on your regular white folks. No, nope, 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 nope. This is firmly placed at the feet of your politicians coming through the 80s and the 90s and the early aughts, and your elite class of white people. All those movie directors and writers and screenwriters, right? All of the commercial execs, all of those people. Now your daughters sound like this, right? All the screenwriters for different television shows. Y'all heard me say this before, let me say it again. The commercial isn't the only thing they said. The entire TV show is an ad. The movie is an ad. For all of us gearheads, all of us car heads, we could tell you when we watch a movie, wait a minute, that's 1, 2, 3, too many Nissans, this is a Nissan movie. Nissan helped to sponsor this. I'm watching Jurassic Park, that's 1, 2, 3. Too many Benzes, this is a Benz movie. Oh, what? Too many Jags, that's a Jag movie. Right? Too many Audis, that's an Audi movie. Transporter, more like transporting Audis. Right? They done mentioned Taco Bell way too many times. This is a Taco Bell movie. Excuse me. KW Don said, I can only find one Pagani dealership in Canada. Canada's landmass is larger than the US. Its population is about half of the US. And what KW Don is telling me, out of what, 100 and some odd million Canadians, he could only find one dealership that sells Paganis. One. What's Canada's population? 120 something? 140 something? Something like that? 130 something? Something in the 100 plus range, right? I'm almost certain it's not 200 million. So let's say 150. Anywhere between 120 something to 150 some odd million Canadians, and one Pagani dealership. Right? Now I'm pretty sure there's like those kind of bespoke dealerships that could kind of bring one in for you or something like that. Special order one for you. But licensed Pagani dealerships, so you're trying to one. Bro. Right? Yeah, there was a it's funny, Namer said Too Fast, Too Furious. There was a Fast and Furious where at the end, was it? Which one was it where they ended it with two Paganis? They did end one with two Paganis. I think Tyrese had one, and was Luda the other person that had another one? I think so, yeah. Right? And yet we're supposed to do what with what? Turn these women into wives? You can't turn these women into wives, bro. They're delusional as hell. And like and so I think that's what I'll end that in a little bit, but that's what I think I'm gonna end that on. This you can't. These are people in their mid-20s. Courtney's probably the first person to ever really tell them, yeah, no, this is crazy talk. This is crazy talk. Like Thomas Shapiro said to the brother Tone Talks. I'm talking to young college educated black women or black women that's taking my classes in university, and they're just like, right? You're talking to them about money. This is a professor that knows it, and they can't hear you. Because before they got into let's say you're talking to 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. Before they took your class, everything in the environment's been blowing smoke up their rear end about this money thing. They get out here in the real world, they walk in the door of some job. I dated a chick like this, a woman like this. Literally told me I was going on interviews and I was asking for 80 grand a year and they were looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, what? Straight out of college asking for 80 grand a year. No. Are you an attorney? If you're not an attorney, and even attorneys, depending on what you're practicing law in, your experience, and what firm you're working for. Right? So I've seen firsthand, I've dated these women firsthand. These type of women, not these women that were on the screen, these type of women. The delusion is real. And then the way it, once again, in a vacuum, it wouldn't matter. The way they then interpret the world and men and marrying and dating, that's when you get into some serious business, right? And give me a second, y'all. I'm going to pause right here. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Give me a second. All right, and I am back, right? It's insanity, y'all. It's insanity. Shout out to the brother Kiyogami, calling me out. Kiyogami knew it. Once Abba Preach or any content creator put something like that out, Mr. Z got to say something about it. But I truly, and I don't know how many of you are like this. I truly find this conversation about money, particularly amongst us as Americans, I find this conversation fascinating, especially in this era where we're supposedly fighting for female equality, to be in the workforce and to make the same type of money as men, providing obviously you put in the same type of effort, same qualifications, such and so forth, et cetera, et cetera. But then when we get to the money part and the conversation about 50-50, all of a sudden everything go out the window, right? That it gets real fascinating once we start talking money, right? Money amongst the opposite sex that are attempting to couple up, apparently attempting to couple up, and what your wife should be earning and what your husband should be earning and what you won't settle for. It gets real fascinating when we're there, right? So I say keep the camera in front of them, keep the microphone in front of them, let them talk. All of them, all the women, white, black, Latina, Asian, otherwise, let them talk, right? All the ones, whether they're white women, black women, Latina women, all trying to jump ship from their race of man because they think they're going to go get a man on discount, whether that's discount in personality and authority and effectiveness or discount in money. Well, you know what? Then I'll be the primary breadwinner. I'm going to tell him what to do. Just keep the microphone and the camera in their face so that as the society advances technologically, but socially it goes down to the dumps, we will know why. Right? People will understand why. No more speculating why. Right? And this is why I said, you know, when FD did his review, FD Signifier did his review of whatever it was, and he was saying, like, you know, y'all are handpicking these samples of women, and you know, he was kind of going into that direction. And I remember saying, like, no, these are American women. What are you talking about? No, these are American women. Nobody's handpicking anything. Nobody's skewing the board on any of this. And the more you have random people, because Courtney is a white woman, right? Kevin was a black man. Abba and Preach are black men in Canada. Fresh and Fit are black men in Miami. They're currently living in Miami, right? You have different people from around the country interviewing from all over the country. No, it's not handpicked anything. That's why I got annoyed with this question, what type of women would call into one of these shows anyway? Any type of woman? And what you're seeing is, like we said, with the kind of street interview of the college the women that were attending college, the young women attending college a couple months ago, to now we're speaking about women in somewhere in their mid-20s, mid to late 20s. Next, if Courtney goes and speaks to women in their mid to late 30s, or maybe even early to mid 30s, you're not going to see much of a difference. I said it to Abba the last video. You keep on going up in age, that delusion, any of my brothers that's here in your 40s, that delusion change? Right? That's a real question. Any of my brothers that are in their 40s right now, when y'all speaking to some of the 40-something-year-old women, that delusion change? Yeah, they might be working a 9 to 5 because they have no choice. And maybe they're even in a relationship with a regular dude. Low-key still looking. Trell Bentley said, it is a sickness. This is a sickness. Shout out to Abba for bringing that one in. That was hysterical. The last video he did where he said that. Right? The Raj report said nothing has changed. I'm saying. Right? This is insanity. Y'all, someone please send a letter. No, I'm playing. But in my ideal world, I would sit down with these execs and be like, you see what y'all done did? By the way, that's like one of my favorite phrases. You see what you done did? You see what y'all done did? Serious. Not because I like blaming people, but I just like the way it sounds. Right? Y'all kept on selling these people, young people, now the kids, all this product placement, all in movies and TV shows and whatever, and now your kids are these people. Yes, it affected the men too. Of course it did. Of course it did. The boys that are not men, of course it did. But it don't got nothing on the women. Plus the men don't got, we know ain't nobody going to get it but us. That's how even the most woman-led man growing up knew that nope, you're not reliant on any woman to buy that for you. That $50,000 charger you want, no woman's buying that for you. Right? But on the other hand, once again, what do you have? Like Mr. Z says, hypermaterialism, consumerism, the fumes of patriarchy with the provider protector stuff still in the air, but still with second wave plus feminism. Right? Let me read. KW Dawn says, the delusion is reinforced and gets stronger as they age, i.e. Lisa Ray. But you know, I thought it. And Vivica. Vivica was really the first person I thought of when I was saying what I was saying. Right? Still wants a 100% provider. Shaking my damn head. I saw that. I saw that interview with Trick Daddy too. I saw it. Right? And Gilgami says, Fit is Arab, actually Arab Sudani, not black African. A detail. Okay, thank you, bro. Thank you. The Roger Report says they've been telling me for 2.5 decades it's about the small pool of women you pick from, even though the pool kept growing as I've gotten older. That's the dream they sell to men. Bro, it's not women, it's who you're choosing. It's what you like, it's your preference. This is where the divestors and the swirlers come in. Your preference, it's your preference. Bruh. Just say it. Y'all look crazy and delusional. Then y'all get mad at the world when y'all realize that that delusion isn't going to be fulfilled, and you're probably going to have to work at least until retirement. You know, be a productive American like the rest of us. Paying taxes and stuff. And actually contributing. You know? Yeah, that part. You know, the people, even some of the women that have to work for that Benz E-Class, they just marry into it. Yeah, you're going to have to be one of those. You know how mad they get when they realize that? Right? You know how mad some of these sisters, some of these ladies generally get? How annoyed they are? This is why you meet them in their mid-late 30s and they be jaded and mad at the world. Right? So yeah, it's real. Right? And so I'll end out with that. Look, these are still young women-ish, kind of creeping real close to the Roger Report's wall. So some of them are 27, Raj. So that clock is ticking. They got about 2 and some odd years to go, right? So it's ticking. Not even a full 3 if they're 27. Not I mean they're 27 and some change. I mean they got two and some years. But you know why this matters. The reason why I covered it once again. The delusion with money. You literally have people talking $500,000, $650,000. So we're not even in the $100,000 range anymore. I think only one sister said that. The sister with her hair kind of down, without the glasses. The one without the glasses. The one with the dress, right? And she was around like 127 or something like that. Okay, and she's in STEM. You know what? For her demeanor, how she was saying, if what I see there is there possible, and she's in the STEM field, she could meet a man in the STEM field. Y'all can maybe make something work for her. Possible. The rest of them, whew, okay, let's see. Let's see. Hundreds of thousands. We're not even at $100,000 anymore, everyone. We're at hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds. 300, 500, $650,000 for 20 some odd year olds. We're not talking about 15-year olds. We're not even talking about 18 to 22-year olds. We're talking about 24 to about 30. Would that come down a little bit for the 30 some odd year olds? Probably. But I guarantee you it still is not going to be no 50 to 75,000, which is pretty much where most men are. Let me be more honest. 35 to 75,000, right? That $40,000 range between 35 and 75, that's about where most men are. Really 70, right? So let's see. I look forward to seeing the next video that Courtney put out. Shout out to Abba and Preach for their review. Once again, like Abba said, this is a sickness. It really is. And in this video, he said, if this is really America, he refuses to believe that, no, this is really America. And I guarantee you most of these women didn't come from rich families. Upper middle class, maybe a few of them. Most of them probably came from solid middle class. They sound this crazy because this is the real them. And this is what the environment is producing. This is what the environment is encouraging. This is what the environment is instigating. Right? So let's see. And like we say, ending on this note, this will affect your society. This is the type of delusion that breaks your society. Not because these women want this. There's actually nothing wrong with wanting that. I get it. You want to be comfortable. You don't want to have to work nothing. You want to have to lift a finger. Cool. It's when you want it and you stand on it and it's this or nothing. And even if you end up with a productive man making 60, that resentment, I didn't get the $200,000 man, the $250 man, the $650 man. You'll be with a $70,000 man who pretty much outpaces almost everyone in society and still feel like you settled. And then the attitude and the demeanor that comes from that feeling of I settled. Like they saying, I ain't doing no struggle love. Cool, right? And on that note, everyone, I will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Spain Man, catch it on the replay. Shout out to Spain Man. Right? Yeah. So, yeah, everyone. I will end it there. And y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Like y'all know I like to say, check out other Black Manosphere content and other non-Manosphere related content. So y'all please don't sound as delusional as these young ladies. Please. Y'all go check out other stuff, politics, history, all that other good stuff, right? Economics, even, all of that stuff, right? And Mr. Z, truly pause right there. All right, everyone. Mr. Z out.